Hi guys, this is Tarkin coming at you with another game of Geometry Dash, and today, just like every other day in recent memory, we're trying to beat Can't Let Go. I mean, not really, it was just, yesterday and the day before. And only for portions of them. It's not like I spent the whole day trying to do it. I did spend some of the day inserting the top of my blocky head into that spike, but not the whole day. And maybe it'll work out. Or maybe I'll become a different person. Or maybe I'll jump into the spike again. It's hard to say. There's a lot of things that you might think you know, but when it really comes down to it, how much do you know about your propensity for avoiding spikes? The only thing to do is practice. And by that I mean avoid practice mode. Maybe if I learn to use the controller instead of the mouse, that'll be good. Come on. I die there a lot. I mean, not a lot, but that is a place I die. Ah. Thank you for your vote of confidence, Ethan. I've been to that section a lot of times, but I never get through. I've been very, very slightly ahead of where I died just there. I think at the last stream I improved by 2 percentage points, so... Ah, well, it's not proving it. That is sure not proving it at all. Ah, terrible. Terrible. I'm like, I know, why don't I just lean slightly closer to the screen? I bet that'll make me play better, said me to myself literally all the time. Like, ah yes, physically become slightly closer to the object of your of your focus, and then it'll be fine. That's the problem. Not your incompetent play, your slight physical positioning. And moreover, whenever I say that to myself, I immediately believe it's true. And I'm like, man, if you only would have just leaned slightly forward or slightly sooner, you probably could have avoided all of that. And yet here I am leaning back again. It's all gonna happen all over. I've seen it all written on the wall of some rundown bar. And apparently now, in Geometry Dash, history repeats itself too. Yep. Yep. Naturally. Oh, CD bottle. Oh no. Alright, I normally get a little further than that. But I've always believed that if I just put my mind to something and really try, then eventually I can give up. But the important thing about failing here is that it's not like unpleasant to fail. And there's not like the painful yellow beginning. Like, I think it was the beginning of Polargeist. It was just like really yellow and green. So, you know, you had to redo it. But here you have like these more soothing, darker, vibrant colors to suffer through as you incompetently attempt to beat the level. If you're me. I'm sure many people can just walk right in here and beat this, but I can't. I just can't theorize the upside down part very well. I thought maybe I would just wake up this morning and beat it, but I don't think that's going to happen. Ah, yep. Terrible. Probably failed to lean far enough for. Anyway. Probably failed to lean forward far enough. That's clearly a defect. Fortunately, this song is excellent to die to. Songs to Fail at Geometry Dash 2 by YouTube Audio Library. I don't know the name of the band. I feel so bad because these songs come on like all the time. I know they get credited automatically in the video and can be looked at though. But I feel bad just like on a personal level, not in a I made the video level, but just like man, I really like this song and I don't even know the name of it, and I can't have it pop up every time a song changes, and I can't like. I mean, I could just stop and look at it. I think I've done that before, and then I've like forgotten what it's called. I'll forget again, but I know it's a good song to play Geometry Dash 2, or to like plant wheat in Minecraft 2. To jump into spikes too. But the interesting thing about me playing Geometry Dash, which, you know, this is, I think, like, getting on my 10th hour, nonsense, is how much it, like, hardens me to failure in other games. Like, I was playing Celeste yesterday, I barely even minded playing it really bad, because I'm just so much worse at this. again. Again with just running right into the triangle because I look too far ahead. How far ahead? Vaguely too far ahead. Really? Terrible. I know. Why don't I complain about being bad and then play even worse? That will be, you know, useful. Ah. Alright, and now we can just die again pretty soon, as is tradition. Just like always. Maybe today will be the last day. I'm starting to think I'm never going to beat this level. And again, I could go practice mode, but at that point, why not just quit? At any point, why not just quit? Hi, Natasha. I keep on dying at the same part again, just like always. Well, not like always. Sometimes I die at a different, more trivial part. Ah, terrible. Maybe it'd be the best feeling ever. Maybe. Probably won't feel as good as giving up, but if it's the second best, that'll be good. Because giving up feels real good. I'm just, you know, I'm glad that I'm afraid of the Geometry Dash soundtrack. I've heard it's highly regarded, and it's nice that people like it, but I think it would be agonizing to listen to one song for this amount of time. Even if it was like Rachmaninoff's Concerto No. 2, I think I wouldn't want to hear it all day long, and I really like Concerto No. 2. Like, an above average amount. I like that. But I need to go into the YouTube audio library and see if there's any songs I haven't gotten from it yet. Nah. Anyway, good morning, Natasha. How are you? I guess it's afternoon for y'all now. Ah! I started late. Because, well, I shouldn't say. But it's really hard to watch sumo, you know, legitimately in the United States. And the way that I normally watch it, it wasn't there. So I had to spend, like, extra time on the internet trying to find today's sumo. I don't think the NHK is gonna come for me though. But if they ever do come, I'll be like, hey, I'm really sorry. I wish it was easier for American fans of sumo to watch it. But anyway, I've already said too much. I mean, not really. No one cares. But anyway, it was a good day of sumo. Not as good as yesterday's. Because my favorite wrestler won in magnificent fashion yesterday. And today he lost. And that's okay. Like, you already drank all the coffee, need to do something about your Dried Sister Battle. Awesome. I love the Sisters of Battle. They're so cool. I didn't collect them. I really thought about getting into them when I got into 40K, but they actually didn't have a plastic range then. Maybe I should define these terms. So once upon a time they used like metal models, and then they had like this sort of resin, but nowadays they use like plastic. But the Sisters of Battle, whenever I started, were like, it was really old ones, and they were all metal, and they were hard to get, and they were sort of out, you know, like 20 years old and stuff. But now they are in plastic, so they have like modern model kits. But I had already sort of gotten locked into the armies I had by the time that they came out in plastic. It was just like right after I got in, but I jumped into 40K with both of my feet in my boots whenever I got into it. It was just like, yes, I'll have this and this and this. But the Sisters of Battle are super cool, just interesting lore, and aesthetically very interesting, I think. There's a lot to like there. If I got another army, I probably would not get them, but that's just because I have too many Imperium models already. And I would want to get more for my Genestealer cult, which they weren't in the game, but you may have seen them from the video. Genestealer cults are sort of like Tyranid, like special operations units. Like they have like one thing called a Genestealer that goes to a planet, and it sort of like infects the populace. So a Genestealer cult is built of like humanoid Tyranid mutants, and then like basically they're programmed to have an uprising, like eventually when the Tyranid fleet comes closer, the big old scary space bugs. But So you have like sort of human, like sort of Mad Max things. Like I have some models that I haven't put together, and what is called the Pile of Shame in the Warhammer 40k and Warhammer broader community. That's the models that you haven't put together and painted yet, or put together at all. And they're like on like motorcycles, and they got, you know, like cool goggles and stuff. But right now they're just plastic on sprues. But they, so like a lot of the models are like sort of like, they look like repurposed mining or construction equipment. And, you know, some of the humanoid ones have extra arms or, you know, grotesque cloaks that obscure the fact that they're, you know, about to blast you with psychic energy or whatever. Yeah, absolutely doing level recommendations. It makes a nice break in between me failing at Can't Let Go. So I'll put that one at the top of the list and jump to that one here in a bit. I haven't done anything with 40k models in like so long. I need to start. It would be good for me. Not least because I have in my closet an embarrassing amount of models that are not put together, that are just sitting in boxes. It's not that much, but it's more than would be ideal. Oh my god. No, I did it again! It's as far as I've ever gotten. I was thinking, oh god, I'm doing so good, I forgot. Oh man, alright. So as soon as you fall down, you immediately gotta jump. Got it. Tasha, you were saying it was hard to find a reference, all the images rolled. Yeah. 40k, that's... I talked a bit, you know, about like how people like sort of roll their eyes at Ultramarines. They are the poster boys, is the thing too. So even among Marine players, it's like, oh, the Ultras get all the attention, but minor factions in 40k are very minor indeed. They're usually, you know, like in the modern era of the novels and stuff, things have improved, but very largely in the past, it was basically, if there's a minor faction, they're just sort of there, usually to, you know, play the second fiddle to whatever Space Marines are the heroes, unless it's specific named human characters, and then same thing, but for them. Ah. I think you can get for the lore why most humans are so mean to the lore. The Emperor... So, Emperor lore is a little unsure in a lot of ways, but the Emperor is not formally speaking a mutant. So, like, the general, like, once upon a time explanation for the Emperor, or Big E, Big Imps, the God Emperor of mankind, so Big E gets, I fell down, is born from an amalgamation of like a bunch of human shaman souls, basically. Like back once upon a time in early human prehistory, maybe like before Alexander the Great and stuff, because it's heavily implied that the Emperor is Alexander the Great. He names the ship after Alexander's horse, that kind of thing. Oh no, I fell down again. But yeah, and so like in this origin, so they basically did like a massive soul sacrifice and jammed all of their human soul wizard power into him, and he became an Omega level psyker as he came into the universe, basically. But so it's humans are mean to mutants because they are told they're supposed to be in 40k. And there are extreme penalties for deviation from those things, from doing what you're told in the Imperium. There's basically like a lot of leeway for how you can behave in the Imperium. There's millions of worlds, but you have to pay the tithe. That one doesn't need a lot of explanation, just 40k tax. And if you pay the tithe and you venerate the Emperor and you avoid chaos and you abhor the witch and you purge the unclean and you destroy the mutant, then you're okay with the Imperium. But you have to do those things. You simply can't allow a backyard cult of psychers to grow up, because that's a gateway to chaos, is the thinking in the Imperium. And it's also literally true. You can't... The thing with mutations is often mutations arise because of chaos, or because of tyrannids, or whatever thing. Now, is that always true? Not always true. But it is always true that the Imperium will just kill you if you don't do what you're told. And so it's basically an enforced xenophobia, because... not least because people are always willing to fear and hate what they don't understand or what seems strange to them, but also because in this case of the Imperium, the only government that they know is telling them they literally have to, or they're not going to get to live. It's just as important as paying their taxes. And then externally in 40k lore, it's just that it makes for a better story if something being a little off pays off later on, which is, a lot of why... I fell down. In general, folklore stories from all around the world, often people or animals that seem different in some way are important to the story. Why? Well, because that's gripping from a storytelling point of view, right? This person has fiery red hair, and now we find out that they're actually, made out of fire, or whatever. This person can turn into a fox, and you can tell because they've got funny pointed ears. But yeah, it's just a... So in another... like an outside of the internal explanation, the external motivation is that the Imperium of Man in 40k is explicitly a satire of what I would think of as sort of like Thatcherite England. So like the conservative policies in Britain in the 80s. And a lot of the initial structuring is, I think, indivorceable from that. So like the developers were trying to say, this government is doing things wrong and here's what some of them are. Because let me be clear, like the Imperium of Man in 40k is a horror show. The things that they are trying to prevent are bad, but the things that they do in order to try to make them prevented are absolutely galaxy-spanning horrifying. The Imperium are bad people, but they're people. And that's basically the crux of the whole 40k setting. Because as bad as the Imperium is, when they're compared to, like, the Dark Eldar, who are even hard to give a summary of out loud on account of how they are just disgusting, villainous, torturous, slaving, feasting on the suffering of everyone around them people, and that is, like, literally how they are. Why wouldn't you tell people in the Imperium to be afraid of, aliens? But that's the point, right? Is, what if these things aren't true? How much is lost by mistreating people based on cosmetic differences or perceived cultural or ethnic differences? Or if space fairy civilizations existed, obviously the races that we would find on other planets would be different than us. And how different? How would we interact? Well, the Emperor decided in 30K in what's called the Great Crusade. Again, very, very explicit in the naming, because Crusade in English, as you're probably aware, harken specifically to the Catholic Crusades in what would be called the Holy Land, so like the Middle East and the Levant. So they have the Great Crusade, and the explicit aim of the Great Crusade under the Great Emperor was to bring all of humanity under a rational banner, because he didn't like superstition and religion. The Emperor didn't. But then the heresy happened, and he had his fight, and he got stabbed, and he got interned on the Golden Throne. And then 10,000 years later, they turned his dreams into a religion that's the opposite of what he wanted, and everything is crumbling and falling apart. And that's just sort of like, it's a bit on the nose, but that's where the satire is. The formulators of the 40K world were saying, if you give in to totalitarianism and ignorance, no matter what you say it's in service of, this is what you're going to get. There's no cruelty without a price. There's no viciousness or depravity that is free. All the things that you do that are violent and wrong to attempt to protect yourself will compound back upon you, and that is because that is the nature of violence. And that's basically, that's 40K. And that's a really long way of answering why mutants, but that's why. It's to show every time they show up what's wrong with people. Very often in stories you get introduced to what you would call in the lore benign mutants. And sometimes a space marine just shows up, like they'll be called sanctioned mutants. These are, so like they're mutated, but they just got they're slightly larger legs or whatever, but they're allowed by the Imperium. They're okay to be slightly taller. And then a space marine will just walk into the room, see them, say mutant, and then straight up bolter them down, and then walk away like they didn't do anything. And that's not a Chaos Space Marine, that's a Loyalist Space Marine, because again, these aren't deep thinkers, right? The military arm of the Imperium of Man, all the hands on that arm are all incredibly stupid and vicious and cruel, and not likely to make exceptions for anyone. Most 40K stories exist because the main character is allowed to act slightly differently than how other 40K characters would act, which is awfully. And you might be asking, why does anybody even like that setting? Well, I think it's an interesting sort of take on military expansionism and sci-fi in general, because it's sort of unrelentingly negative. And like the opening crawl in every 40K content says now, in the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. These aren't stable systems for a peaceful society. They're fascistic wartime imperialist systems for a fascistic imperialist society. And that's how 40K is. And I try to think of that, but what I really think of is, ooh, more plastic models. These guys have little spears and they ride on horses. For a long time, those models didn't exist in plastic, but now they do. That's for my Imperial Guard. They're called Attilan Rough Riders, and they look like Mongolians, kind of, and they've got, oh no, I fell down. Oh, that got better. They've got, the conical hat with the spike on it that's wrapped with a little cloth, and they ride on horses, and they have lances, and I'm so psyched that they exist. Except they're in my closet. I think the cellophane is still on the box from when I bought it at the Warhammer store. Not actually the Warhammer store. We don't have an official one. I live in Arkansas. We don't have cool stuff like that. It's just a store for Warhammer. And every now and then I go by it and give them money and then never put the models together. That's the best part of the hobby. Ah, terrible. You say good job, Resboak? Thank you. Alright. Let's try that custom level from Dark Light up there and take a drink of coffee. So Ordinarius, you say I'm very consistently getting near the end of the level. Very good sign. Yeah, I can do okay on the route to the upside down part, but it gets real shaky there. All right, so 99331 058. Ooh, another pretty level. I have no idea. Okay, so do I move around at all, or is this just okay, so I'm like a pong ball in a beam of light. I don't think I can fail this. It's really pretty. This seems like it would be like the ending cinematic of a game where, you know, you had just managed to destroy the universe. And now a little bit of like a classic Sony logo look in what I'm sure is a legally distinct way. And oh, that was cool. Looks I actually really like this. It's like it's a beautiful little colorscape here. The swirls are nice. Reminds me of like the background to a lot of various stuff. Really cool. Thanks for sending me that. That was really nice. Can that go is not impossible. It's possible. Lots of people have done it. But very cool. Thanks for sending me that. And then we've got another. This one at the top that I'm not going to be able to do. Might as well give it a little try. Alright, so how's this work? I love the aesthetic. Okay. Whoa, not like that. This is very interesting. This is so cool. Ah, not like that. Jump, jump, jump there. Got it. This must have been... So the other day someone asked if I had ever done a platforming level, and this is very clearly what they meant. This is so cool. I can't wait to die at something dumb. Like that. Awesome! Oh, that's not what this is. That's something different. I see. Oh, I needed to jump there again. Well, I thought this was a platformer level, and I was wrong. It still is very interesting. Ah, right. And then jump, bounce the wall there, and then to the yellow one. Okay. Jump there and then hit the blue bounce there to flip polarity. Probably. Nope, not like that. Clearly a fail in logical analysis there. Let's see if we can make that a little better on this one. This level, I really love it. Why did I do that? I didn't need to jump there and die again. That's what I did the time before, and I didn't need to do it that time either. Ultimately unimportant. I've fallen down. Ah. How is that a new best? I've been past that. Maybe it was slightly higher vertically, and that's where you get... That must have been it. I died at a higher vertical position than before, even though it wasn't as far ahead. Why? Alright, we just gotta... well, you know, good progress. I figured out what I had to do, I just couldn't get the timing quite right. At least, I think I knew what to do. This is called Rebound Ramparts. It is a custom map that somebody recommended to me. I shouldn't say I'm not trying to beat it. The goal is not to beat it. I'm just experiencing it for a bit before I go back to not beat Can't Let Go. That way the name of the stream won't be a lie. This level is so cool though. I'm so impressed. I've never played a level like this before. And I am... You know, I feel like I've been saying this a lot lately, but I am continually impressed by the depth of the creativity of the people here. Alright, I got You Shall Not Pass. Apparently I have just now died 2,000 times in Geometry Dash. I would have thought it was about that many. A lot of them don't count. A lot of them are like, you know, me putting my head down in frustration after dying some other way. You know, dying at the first spike 18 times on whatever that Verdant level was. But I'm glad the game is still rewarding me for dying. Wow. Not like that. I mean, I don't deserve a reward for that death. But... Oh, man. Alright, so that's gonna make you go back slightly faster. Got it. Oh. Hello, Mirsesh. Ah. Sorry, Technogo. Yeah, if you'll just put the ID in the chat, I will get around to it. I'm not gonna play it immediately, so I'm about to give up on this one and try Can't Let Go again. But I will put it in the list of custom levels to take a look at. Be happy to. But see, I'm gonna bash my head against Can't Let Go for another 15 minutes here. This level's so cool, though. What? Alright, well, I thought it was gonna bash me back. Anyway, Rebound Ramparts. Very, very cool level. Super creative. I should upvote it. I should remember to leave up arrows on all these cool levels that I am playing. Alright, back to Can't Let Go. 86%. Will today be the day? It won't. It won't be the day. Can I old man for a second? I want to complain about something. So I was looking for microphones because I wanted to buy like a better microphone for doing this. And the internet now is like it's so full of just absolute garbage that it's hard for a person like me who just wants like a trustworthy list telling me like what a good microphone would be to buy, and like it's also useless. I don't buy stuff very often, just Warhammer models and occasionally computer hardware. But like I don't know very much about sound, anything. But it's like just so much algorithm driven slop. Like I remember it reminds me of when I was learning how to bake bread about 2 years ago, and bake in general. But bread specifically, and I was like looking for some answers, and like every time I would try to find like a website that could tell me, it was just like the worst thing, and not at all helpful. And that is how I felt trying to figure out what microphone I should buy. Because my mother gave me, an Amazon gift card for my birthday because I always tell her I don't want anything, and then she always gives me, something so I can buy stuff for myself because, well, money's money. But I just, I don't buy stuff very often, so it's still sitting in there in my account. And it occurred to me that I could use it to discount the price of a microphone. But then I looked around for like 20 minutes, and then I said, I don't want to do this anymore. There's too many choices, and I will instead make none of them. And that is why I don't buy things very often. Because if it's not clear to me what the right choice is, I'll just not do anything. Forever. You went from beating Stereo Madness to beating Club Step? Awesome, I've heard of Club Step as a hard level. I've never jumped into it myself, yeah. I first played Sunday night, so I feel like I'm not like ashamed of my progress. There's like when I couldn't beat Dry Out for a while, I was like, man, am I really gonna not even get past level 4? If I can't get past level 6, that's fine. But like I can get bullied by Steam achievements, right? if I'm thinking like, oh, this is too hard, and then I look and like 40% of the players have done it, I'm like, oh, okay, why don't I just learn to play? Maybe just get good. That was a huge reason why I played Minecraft Hardcore, because somebody described to me how they, as a child, did it. And I mean, like, not that kids aren't great gamers, they are. But this guy was like, I was surprised that he had ever been good at anything. That's mean. That's mean. I'm not sorry I said it, but it's mean. But sometimes if a person that I don't think is good at very much says they can do something, I think, oh, okay, I guess anybody could do that. I bet I could. I'm so bad at this game, though. But still, you know, not frustrated by it. We'll just get all the way up here again, and then die at the same part, just like always. Natasha, yeah, you know, I could be easily tricked by that. But like, you know, this guy learned how to read music, and I'm like, oh man, if that guy over there playing the tuba can learn how to read it, I guess I have to. Like, as a naive 7th grader, I thought if I just became a percussionist, I wouldn't have to actually learn how to, like, you know, learn anything about music. And then the band director explained to me it was more than just hitting a drum. Sometimes you hit pieces of metal, sometimes wooden things, sometimes plastic. Boring. Percussion was fun, though. Not like the band part, who cares? I'm being facetious a little bit there. Music is very important to me, but not like playing it myself. That's not very important to me. But just hanging out with my friends and pretending to be paying attention in class. And then whenever we are paying attention, you get to hit stuff with sticks, which is like, you know, pretty good for a bunch of moron teenagers. I'll be like, all right, so just play the cymbal louder than he wants you to. Just really wail on it with the mallets. And then when he tells you to dial it back a little bit, just look like really, really appreciative of his feedback. Just be like, all right, yeah, absolutely, yeah, a little less on the cymbal. Pull it back, yes, sir. And the band director would just have to live his whole life not knowing if we were as dumb as we pretended to be, which anyone who's known teenagers knows, no offense if you are one, that teenagers are both very stupid, but always pretending to be dumber than they are. Because they're simultaneously incredibly clever. I work with a lot of teenagers, and I am continually inspired by their ability to pretend that they do not understand what they clearly do. Although I suspect some people feel the same way about me. I, unfortunately, have been the same since I was about 4 years old. No, why? Why? I don't even know what I did wrong there. Why am I the way I am? Ultimately unimportant, shouldn't ask. So anyway, I've been thinking what to play today. Terrible. So I might do a chapter of Celeste. But what if that only takes like 10 years? Like, what do I do with the rest of my life? But I was downloading Red Dead Redemption 2. It's paused right now because it was making the bars on my OBS software go all red, and normally they're all green. And that made me feel like maybe don't download and stream at the same time, you numbskull. But if I like take some break for food or whatever, because Red Dead 2 is what, like 110 gigs or whatever, but I have good internet. In spite of being in Arkansas, we have good internet in my town. We haven't always. Like a year ago, we had bad internet and it was expensive, and now we have good internet and it's cheaper. Which, not to get all misty-eyed about the modern era, but most of the time for my life, things get worse and more expensive, not better and cheaper. So it's just nice for it to turn around. And again, I don't want to bring up the past, but do you remember? I love that this music's in the background right now. Do you remember the size of a Star Crunch in 1995? Do you remember the size of a fudge round, or a Swiss cake roll, or a honey bun fresh out of the box in 1995? We had a beautiful land then, full of sugar, wrapped in plastic. It was great. Sometimes I wonder how I ended up being thin. It's because my mother only let me have one of them a day, and I lived on a farm, and I had to haul 5-gallon buckets of water around, and also hay bales, and move goats around, and sometimes I cut down trees or dug holes. But anyway, somehow, in spite of eating that sugar, I ended up being relatively thin most of the time, and I don't know how, but I just sort of miss those old days with really large fudge rounds. Now you can buy a big fudge round, but they're labeled as a big fudge round. What happened? Did my hands get bigger? It didn't. I love that this music's still going on. I'm gonna reminisce the whole time. Oh no! Words. No, these are all things that make sense to people. Trust me. When you have like a little bit of ambient music like this in the background, you can convince people of the nostalgic value of anything you want. And I was like, I'm going to use this time to talk about snack cakes, which are individually wrapped processed foods available for snacks. And I love them still. They're terrible for you. I am not being paid by the enemies of snack cakes to say that they are not healthy. They're just not very healthy. And I think it's important to recognize that I'm willing to say they're not good for me without being paid to do that. But I drink black coffee, so I can put all the creamer and sugar into figuratively cake form. No, I'm more of a macros guy, you know. As long as I can go to work and like hang out over a fire and sweat my absolute life away and maintain my general body weight, I'm not going to act like what I eat is bad for me, even when it is like 1 dozen snack size Reese's. Because again, they're so good, why would I deny myself more of them? Is this the mustache of a guy who would deny himself what he wants? I mean, it is. Once I slept on the floor in my room for like more than a year in a row. I could have afforded a bed, but I was trying to become the Buddha. It did not work. I think the Buddha would be better at Geometry Dash. I just suspect that, though. I don't think that's like a definitively agreed upon fact about the Buddha, but I bet he'd be better than me at this. I just got a feeling. I think he would use the same character, though, with the flat, unimpressive rectangle for a mouth. Very, very Nirvana face. But snack cakes. I'm not done talking about them. So that was basically like my lunch at school growing up. We would make like a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then we would have like some silly Capri Sun fruit drink or whatever that my mom would pack with us, and then we would get to choose a snack cake, and that was the best thing. Oh man, I loved getting to choose a snack cake, and then, you know, bring it to school, because we didn't buy the cafeteria lunches. They were too expensive. But then, of course, they just had like vending machines in the schools where you could buy candy and sugary stuff. So as soon as like I had a job in high school, I was just buying more sugary things. Cause I'm a bad influence, right? And I love snacks. I just really do. I did have this one, like, 2 years where I ate too many of them, but... Oh, no! Where I ate too many snacks, but then I was like, okay, I gotta cut back. But that was my dad's fault. He just got too many of them. My father was volunteering at this food bank, and they would just have, like, shocking amounts of food get donated, right? And so, like, the people that worked there, they would take stuff home too, because, you know, it'd be expired or whatever. They would have to make room for more stuff. Basically, food banks in America often have so much food they can't give it all away. But one of the things they couldn't give away was like these boxes of fun-size Snickers bars, which are not my favorite candy bar. And when I say these boxes, I mean 3 25-pound boxes of snack-size Snickers, which is, you know, and I was an adult. I was like 33 years old whenever this happened, and I was just like, all right, it's time for me to play World of Warcraft and eat an excessive amount of these Snickers in between showing up for my job. But then I had to eat slightly less snacks for a while, which was annoying. Not that annoying. I'm an excessive person, so all I have to do is like convince myself to dial it back. Usually it doesn't work, but if I convince myself that it's important, then I can. But when I needed to lose weight, I just remembered a conversation I'd had with my father many years ago, where he was complaining about not being able to shed some pounds, and I was just like, well, why don't you eat less? Because that's like what often he would say about people, and he was like, it's not that simple, and I was like, well, if I ever need to, that's what I'll do. And I know it's not that simple, but I know it annoyed him that whenever I thought I needed to lose some weight, I just decided to do it, and it worked. I know it annoyed him. He told me it annoyed him. Not in a mean way, just like a laughy, jokey way. My father doesn't like say to my face that I annoy him. What would be the point? But I can still tell. Nah, me and my dad, we get along a lot better now than when I was growing up. Which is good. It's good that that is the case. Ah, terrible. But all this talking about snacks is definitely making me want more snacks. Oh, I've got so many right now. So there's a winter storm the other week, and people often like go to the store and sort of like panic buy some materials before bad weather here where I live. And someone was asking if I needed to, and I was like, "You think I need to go to the store?" Because I don't need to go to the store. Like, whenever I run out of chocolate chip cookies or chocolate chips to make cookies with, I go downstairs to where the pantry is, and then I grab extra chocolate chip cookies that are there or chocolate chips that are, oh no, I fell down. I just go grab my backup chocolate chips and then get back to it. I've got it all. I've got backup brown sugar. I hate having to go to the store. Hello, Shaden. But I need to go to the store briefly at some point today, probably, to go buy energy drinks. I won't say what kind, but they make your skin feel roughly not very good, and that's how you know they're good energy drinks. They'd be so mad if I mentioned that about them, though. They're like, you can't just go around saying that our product makes your skin feel bad. And I said, yes, I can, because you're just C4 energy drinks, and you're not paying me anything. You're not even giving me energy drinks. All you're doing is making my skin feel a little bit bad. Anyway, I love those things. They're so great. The unpleasant tingling sensation on your flesh just lets you know that it's working and that the blood is flowing through you. I know it's not just a me thing. I've talked about this to other people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, the painful skin feeling, that's the best part of drinking an energy drink. Everybody knows that." I will say, I think I've said this before on stream, but not recently. I'm so glad that they didn't like have mainstream energy drinks whenever I was a teenager. Me and my friends would have been like in the news, like local teens hospitalized after drinking 18 energy drinks and staying up to play Final Fantasy X Blitzball all night long, you know, that kind of thing. Say they ate 12 Tostino's pizzas but were never able to feel full. Played pool badly while their friend played in the Blitzball arena for 6 hours straight, you know, that kind of thing. Instead, we drank Mountain Dew. Ah, Mountain Dew, my beloved. I don't know what it's supposed to taste like, but I know I like it. It's more of a concept, right? The dew of the mountains. The hills are alive with Mountain Dew bottles or whatever. No, not again. I mean, yes again. Clearly, yes again. I'm so bad. Sometimes I amuse myself with daydreams of like if I ever like really made it big, just like how absolutely obnoxious I would be to anybody who bothered me trying to get me to advertise for them. I'd be like, you want me, the person in front of you, to talk about your product? I bet you don't. I really bet you don't. And then I fantasize with all the rude things that I would say about various companies just because they wanted me to advertise for them. And then I'm like, well, fortunately, that's never going to happen. But, you know, sometimes I just like to think about sticking it to the man and be like, you know what, why don't I make a song parody that tells you how I really feel about your cheeseburgers and your prices? Or, you know, whatever. Because if there's one thing you know about me, it's that I like talking about snacks. But if there's two things you know about me, it's probably that I hate advertisements. I don't know. I don't actually think I talk about it that much. But anyway, I think advertisements are bad. Sorry if any of y'all do that for a living. I know that that's like sort of how YouTube operates. So YouTube, I'm sorry for saying it too. But ads suck. They're bad. And I always get annoyed whenever I'm subjected to them. Unquestionably the worst part of watching television growing up, and the best part of getting compilations on VHS or DVD. Now I'm just sitting here. No! Like, I'm just sitting here imagining how I would do a Reese's commercial, and it would just be like an hour of petty rudeness about me just like doing multiple takes of saying, well, sometimes you get total chocolate coverage and there's not a little bit that's stuck to the wrapper. Yeah, sometimes the bottom isn't slightly glossier than the top. Like, no, you're supposed to say the ad copy. And I'll be like, oh, wait, no, you think you're paying me? I'm just here to tell you what's wrong. No! In between my fantasies of being rude to big corporations, which are never going to come to fruition, I bash into a wall. The thing that I should have been thinking about. But sometimes it's nice to daydream, right? Other people want Lamborghinis or Ferraris or some other exotic car. I know the names of other kinds, but I don't feel like listing them off. I'm not paid by Lamborghini or Ferrari to talk about them. I think they're tacky. That's not true. I think they're cool. I think the people that drive them are tacky. But I would 100%, if I woke up and suddenly had all of the money in the world, like, spend it being an absolute moron and wasting people's time and being like, oh, you guys want to have fun today? We're going to listen to the Flaming Lips album, At War with the Mystics. You're really going to like this one. You know, that kind of thing. Just like, you know, G-rated Roman Emperor stuff. Buying my own ocean and then draining it into a different ocean, that kind of thing. Just total excess. Anyway, that's what I would do if I had all the money in the world. And then I'd get right back to losing in Geometry Dash. No! Hello, Random Goober. How are you on this fine day? I am failing at Can't Let Go. Talking about my dreams of being vaguely rude to companies, but we're basically done with that. Oh no! I'm really bad at this. I normally get past there. I was lacking focus. But that is not your fault. I welcome your comments. Although I die when looking at them. Alright, let's take a little break here. Not from the game, from Can't Let Go, where we have improved 0% to... So we're gonna try this. It's not gonna work. Oh, it's so cool. Ah! I love the way that it looks. What? Okay, not like that. Okay. I still don't know what's going on. Ah. Okay, the blue ones are like, what? Okay, there we go. What? Okay, I've got to quit doing that. I mean, am I going to? Probably not. What? Hey, I got to 5%, new best. What I needed to do was fly off the map. That was the route to improving. I figured it out. Now I'm good at the game. What? Still don't know what's going on. No idea what's happening there. I think I click on it and it just like teleports me up. I don't think this one's gonna get to 6%. No personal best there. Ah. Anyway, this is a cool level. It's very clearly beyond my abilities. What? Hey, we get to 8%, so that's good. There's apparently a bunch of stuff going on over there. Anyway, a very cool level, very clearly beyond my abilities. But thanks for showing it to me. If you made it, very interesting, aesthetically, very, very cool. Alright, back to Can't Let Go. I look forward to dying in the same spot as always-ish. Hopefully not in this rocket ship portion. That's the only embarrassing thing. Dying after 70% is just normal. Yep, just like always. Alright. Now we can get to 70% and die again! Terrible. I'm never gonna beat this. But that's okay. There are a lot of video games that I'm never gonna beat. And this is one of them. This game is so, like, cartoonishly difficult anyway that it doesn't even matter. Not this level specifically. I don't consider this level cartoonishly difficult. Merely pretty difficult. But some of the ones people send to me, like, there's no point in even playing a game that looks like that. I mean, if you find fulfillment with it, sure. But I am never going to beat those levels. Not like the last one. None of the ones today I thought were just, like, ridiculous. People have sent me ones in the past with silly little horns on the ratings, and it seemed like all of them were based on a dare. Ah. Was hard. There's like 7 hours to learn. Yeah, you know, like the song says, ain't nobody got time for that. I mean, I do. My life is composed of nothing but time. Time, protein, complex carbohydrates, simple carbohydrates, but mainly time. Do people play blindfolded Geometry Dash? I bet they do. Ah, why? Why? That's really careless. I just fumbled there. Nothing more to say about that one. That's a bad beat. It's a careless death to be sure. Oh, why? I know that's not how to do that. Man, terrible. Terrible. I so often just run right into that one 2-block then triangle tile because I'm looking forward and I'm like, don't mess this up, and then I just don't jump at all, which is, not exactly like I plan. One could describe it as the opposite of the plan. Really up to you how you would choose to characterize it. I would characterize it as roughly normal. I think probably about half of my deaths after the Upside Down Portal happened right there. Just like failing to adjust. I don't know what I expected. That's not making any progress. I just got to get better at that section, or I can't even get to the next one to get better at it. Not looking promising though, since I don't feel like I've gotten 1% better all day, And, you know, I think the game bears that out. Wait, no, did I get to 86%? That happened today? Maybe I didn't get better yesterday. Yeah, I know, Natasha. Imagine if there was. The thing is that if I go to practice mode, it'll probably be the second to last thing I do in the game, right before telling people that I think it's a good game and that I recommend it. Because there's nothing wrong with giving up, but there's no point in playing after you give up. Maybe for the 14 billion subscriber special, I'll enter practice mode and try to be Can't Let Go in the year 40,010. Hello, the world according to Julian. How are you on this fine day? I'm failing at Can't Let Go. Over and over I'm failing. Not usually right there, but sometimes right there. All right. What? No. I was thinking this song was too soft and not enough was going on. I needed to change the music, and instead I ran into the spikes, which is the same as changing the music. It is. So it's on your recommended? Oh, well, it's going fine. I'm only talking about quitting the game forever. No, it's come on, it's fine. I think this is like hour 11 or so for me in Geometry Dash. Or Chuyong, you said that, yeah. Yeah, I'm not very good, but that doesn't matter. It's not fun to not be good at it. At least at this level. Some of the levels people have sent me, it wasn't fun to not be good at those. It felt pointless to not be good at those. Indeed, we all start somewhere. And although it's shocking to believe if you're watching me right now, I used to be even worse at this game than I am now. I know, it is difficult to believe, but you gotta trust me on it. If you would have seen me 2 or 3 days ago, I would have exhibited, basically this level of play. Because I've been playing for, 4 days now, and I haven't gotten better since the second one. Here's where I die all the time. Or here. Sometimes here. Sometimes here. Or here. Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god. Keep it together. Keep it together. Yes! Yes, I did it! I did it! I did it! Ha-ha! Take that, practice mode. Nobody needs you. Yes! Yeah. Level complete. In the bank. Can't let go. 100%. Whew. I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think it was gonna happen that time. You know, that last segment's much easier than that part in the middle one. On the jumper, yes. I played a small amount of jumper yesterday, up to 14%, but it is indeed time to go on to jumper. Let's change the name of the stream to reflect the new reality. Comma, jumper. From 86% to 100% on Can't Let Go. An excellent, excellent movement. Hooray! Ah, yeah. Hey, 15%, new best. Alright. Jump, jump, fall, a tumble, then jump. Got it. No. Jump, then tumble there. Okay. That. Should you play as well? You know, I bet you'll win the race. But I do like that the beginning of Jumper is that, this nice purple sort of pink gradient. It's pleasant. I think I'm going to be spending a lot of time here, and I'm just glad it's not that greenish yellow that sometimes permeates. Why? Say, you remember when you were playing and Can't Let Go, that was the first roadblock from the section? Yeah, a lot of people were telling me that I would need to use practice mode for that one in specific, I think, but I proved them wrong gradually. I do think they're probably right about this one. I do not anticipate being able to beat this level without going into practice mode. But that doesn't mean I won't try for a while. I mean, I haven't had to use practice yet, and I definitely want to give this level the proper try. No, not like that. Wonder how long this upside down section is. Hello, Jay Plays Games. How are you? I'm doing just fine. I just finally beat Can't Let Go after several hours of attempts. Feels real good. Feels real good. It does feel almost as good as giving up feels. Oh yeah, I was like, oh no, I was like, I think I got to 16%. I didn't though. That was very marginally further than before. Alright. Jump, jump, tumble down, jump, tumble down. Again, then jump. Okay, I see it now. Ah, not like that. You can hold down the staircase section sometimes. I'm not sure what you mean. Like, hold down the clicking? 18%. All right, so I almost got it, and then there's going to be a polarity shift, drop to the next platform, and then it's, I think I got to jump, like, immediately. Okay. Jump, drop, jump, drop, jump, jump, then drop, then jump. Ah. Base after event, the Can't Let Go is harder than Can't Let Go to jumper, you would say. I agree with you, I think. But, I don't know jumper that much yet. The Steam achievements also agree. So it's an interesting thing with the Steam achievements for this game. So from like dry out to base after base, it's basically the exact same amount of people, almost no difference in beating it. But then it's like, is this the full version? I think so. I have it on Steam. I think it's everything. But Can't Let Go and Jumper have almost the exact same percentage of completions, just like Dry Out and Base After Base does. Ah, needed to jump there. I'm glad this Upside Down is early in the level. But yeah, so Jumper and Can't Let Go are the same as far as the percentages are concerned. So it's just like, look, if you don't give up after Can't Let Go, I bet you're gonna not give up here either. And that's how the game works, I guess. It's so funny to me how easy the last 15% of Can't Let Go was compared to the section right before it. You're gonna ask me this, should you start a medium demon? If you think that's, you know, in your skill range, I've played on a demon map before and it was vastly outside of mine. But I would say, yeah, you know, if you think it's a surmountable challenge, absolutely start on it. The green's tough for me. I think not just because my box is green colored, but also because it is. Hi, Jim. Well, you have a good one, Jay. Thanks for stopping by. And thank you for the good luck wishes. You were all definitely bringing me good luck. People started showing up, and then I beat Can't Let Go, and that had to have been through the positive attitudes of everybody. What should you do? Well, I don't know any of the names. I've only played this game for like 10 hours and a few days, so I don't have any suggestions. What? Okay, so I think I need to drop down. We need to make that jump like early into the portal so that the velocity doesn't put us into the spikes on the side, maybe? Yes, that's exactly what we need to do. An early jump, and then I just need to jump again after we flip there. You literally showed up the moment I beat Can't Let Go. Awesome. Yep. Well, you know, it was several hours spent on it. Or a few hours. Spread it over some days. It hasn't been the only thing I've been doing. But I'm very glad I finished it. This level seems fun too. I bet I'll be able to crack it. Ah, why? Why would I do that? If I could just stop making that click, which is, again, not necessary or good. Yeah, it's like I try to reorient my vision and it just doesn't work. It's like by the time that I'm like, all right, where am I? Where's my velocity? Where's my little happy face of like I'm already dead? I'm like, oh, they got me again. Ah, they got me again. But hey, I'm probably gonna say this a lot of times, but at least this upside down section is real early in the map. One day we're gonna do a little better. Here we are on attempt 69. We're just going to keep on going. I'll probably do it till we get to 100 or so. You know, I've got to start doing that properly. Attempt 70. One more time with feeling. Because although I am having a good time and I am happy with the success of Can't Let Go, I do want to play something else today. Because I want to play a chapter of Celeste, and I think I'm going to play Red Dead, but I might play something else. I've never played Red Dead before, but it's so highly recommended. And I kind of want to have like some sort of story game to be doing in between these platformers that have recently taken over my attention. I'm having so much fun with Geometry Dash though. Something about like how smart it is for the forward motion to not be controlled, and just like how all the inputs are, you know, on and off just one thing. It's nice because even though it's hard, you don't think, oh, I gotta do this differently. It's like, no, just like do your one input slightly differently, but the speed's the same. You have to go through here, so just figure it out. And I like that. Because, well, otherwise it'd be like, oh, do I need to increase my forward, you know, or whatever there. But now I'm just like, yo, no, click at the right time, and then you can do better. And no matter how crazy the level is, if they're possible, that's all there is to it, you know, just doing the rhythm properly. Like I said, just doing the rhythm properly. Come on. Ah, terrible. I think it's hard to see the blocks go higher, but you have to not press to go higher, and then the lower have to press. Yeah, it's definitely tricky. I think it's honestly even harder for me whenever I was using the mouse, because it's like when I have the controller, at least just, you know, hit my thumb, but with the mouse, I was always going out of the window, and there's always like a subconscious feeling where you want to like drift with the motion, but it doesn't matter, you know, it's all just the hit on the controller, which I should be learning to play with anyway, because it's just a smarter input for the long run than clicking, and quieter. If I could research how to get a better microphone better, then I could maybe buy a better microphone, and then maybe the clicking from the mouse wouldn't be so loud, or it would be even louder. It would be all anyone could hear. Click, 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 the mouse would say. But, you know, louder and with more fidelity. Ah, again, terrible. Why am I the way I am? Embarrassing to die there. That's not supposed to be a place you die on this map. That's not supposed to be a place you die either. And yet, here I am, a bag of bones, green and blue, and entirely slain. Once more into the breach. What? No! Ah, man. I almost got to the personal best line again. Here, I'll lean forward and then bash my head into the wall, figuratively, not literally. I have a hard head, but you can't maintain having a hard head by bashing it into the wall. It doesn't toughen up like a video game. God, I wish life were like that. Every time I get burned at work, I'm like, man, if only I could get a little burn resistance. Ah, terrible. Yes, hello, Frostcat. Jumper indeed. We beat Can't Let Go. It was glorious. We went from 86% to a completion. No practice mode. Just try to put piglins to it. Indeed. Oh. I feel so accomplished for beating Can't Let Go. You were right, Natasha. You probably hear that all the time. It's probably like the most frequent sentence you hear is, "You were right about everything. I should have used practice mode." But you won't hear that from me. You'll just hear me say sometimes, "You were right." And then I'll continue on living my life like you weren't right. Because that is who I am. Ah, come on. Oh, why do I keep doing it? Like, I just won't refocus my eyes properly. Maybe I need to not be green. Could do analysis and see if I do worse at green sections than all other sections. I think I might. I think I just literally just constantly lose sight of where my little block is at. But, you know, I'm sure all colors of the block have that problem. I mean, it doesn't help that it's upside down. Ah! I mean, would I keep on doing that anyway? Probably. Probably. %, new best. Let us go. Well, and let us then get stuck right there. Okay, 11 hours past their decides, yeah, exactly, you know. Oh no! I've killed the game? No. I've just merely clicked out of the window. Because I think the game tells me, like, I have a PS4 controller. I think it's PS4. I think the game wants to give me instructions for an Xbox Windows controller or whatever. Alright, here we go. Nope, here we don't go. Yeah, because if you, like, speedrun learning something, then what? You just, like, know it, and you have to go learn something else? Why not bash your head against a wall? Why not? Ah. I wonder if Hades let me practice the boss fights, if I would do it, or if I would just keep on being bad. I bet it would have kept on being bad. It would be like, no, it's in the spirit of the game not to practice and to only do it once every time that you get there. Ah, why? Why? No, why? I know I'm not supposed to do that, and yet. And yet. I don't know what I did there. I think I'm just supposed to do like a much earlier jump so that like at the peak of it you get into the downward hit. Yeah, much earlier jump so that you hit the other one so that you can jump again and get into the downward slide. I think. You say you didn't use practice mode either at the start? The Steam achievements bear out that this is basically where people start using it, like right around Jumper or this. Like, I think more people have beaten Jumper and Can't Let Go on normal mode than have beaten Stereo Madness on practice mode. I believe Stereo Madness is the name of the first level. Which that would make sense, but, you know, but eventually, if you look at the Steam achievements for the official levels, you see it flip-flop, and then, like, people beating it on practice mode becomes much more common than a normal mode victory. Ah, terrible. Ah, why? Alright, here we go. No, here we don't go. Practice mode completions give me rewards. I mean, I know there are also Steam achievements for them, which is a reward too. Blah. Every time. Virtually every time. I am so glad to be done with Can't Let Go, though. It was a cool level, you know, I liked it. I just sure played it for a long time. Jumper has a lot of jumping. Yes, indeed. You know, I think the whole game has a lot of jumping, but they might give you even more jumping to do on Jumper. Jump, jump, jump. That's why they call me Jumper. Why? I gotta quit that. I jumped when I should have not jumped. The name of the level lied to me. That was a faller. Okay, that one, we came in real weird. I think it just had to do with the angle we hit the portal in. Sort of. Sort of dropped in a little earlier than I was used to. Or later. I think later for that one. And then earlier for the next one. I thought I was doing the right thing there. The spikes thought otherwise. Alright. So I need to fall to that one after that spike jump, and then immediately jump off to hit the portal to go down, I think. I also need to definitely not do that. I think. Why? Why am I the way I am? Please don't answer if you know. I don't want to know. Why? Again I do it. Literally back to back. It's the exact same excruciating failure. No, it's not all that bad. You're supposed to fall after that one, and then jump off to hit the portal to go down. Like I know. You're supposed to fall off that one. Which I know. what? That was a weird little skip there. I just came in at just the right time to where the tumble sort of... I think if you hit it at just the right edge of it, you can make the wrong jump and still get away with it. Or rather, what I'm identifying as the wrong jump. Ah. Anyway, clearly not like that. Very clearly that was not quite on. That also, probably not ideal. The sharpness of the triangle should have made me wary, and yet. You know, not every boy thrown to the wolves becomes a hero. Ah, man. Do I think changing the icon color would help? No, I don't think so. At this point, I'm just, like, my head is just doing the wrong input because I'm identifying the pillar incorrectly. Like, I'm just literally looking at it wrong, and I keep on doing the same wrong thing because I'm looking at it wrong. I don't think the icon color will help me. This is sort of how long it takes me to do anything that's upside down. Terrible. I'm supposed to fall there. That's why Can't Let Go is so tricky, is because the upside down portion comes so late in the level. See, like here, I probably failed on this match, like almost as much as on Can't Let Go, just because the hard part is right here, or rather a hard part. No, I think honestly the yellow and green backgrounds are very hard for me. They sort of like feel a little over bright in my eyes, and I think that's a problem too. Because it like whenever it's that long, it's the constant scrolling combined with the colors, I think. But yeah, the green, it's starting to get tough to even look at. Yeah. Yeah, when I close my eyes, it's just green burned into my eyes. Anyway, so that's my cue to take a little break. Because, yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, yeah, my eyes do hurt a little bit here, so... thanks for watching, thanks for listening. I really hope you've enjoyed me conquering Can't Let Go and bashing myself into the brightness here over and over again. I'm about to get something to eat, and then I'll stream again. Not Geometry Dash immediately. I'll probably stream Geometry Dash in another like 10 hours or so. But probably an hour of Celeste, and then hopefully some game I've never played before yet. I just don't know what game that'll be. But last attempt right here. Okay, last attempt right here. Alright, there we go. So, Jumper, 23%, that's where we're at right now. Let's see what sort of progress we can make on that level today. Oh. You say you always thought Jumper was easier than Can't Let Go. You left because you had to do the dishes. Well, I'm glad the dishes are done. That must be very satisfying. I always feel better whenever mine are done. But I'm gonna head out right now. I'm going to go and make some ramen and eat it with crackers, probably. Sounds good. Yeah, and when we come back, we will be streaming something else. I'll be streaming the rest of the day on and off, and if you want to check it out, I hope I see you there. And if you're watching this from the future, you know, I hope the weather is nice and that you have all of the things that you want. If you're watching this from the present, it's unlikely that you have everything that you want. You have to have something to look forward to.